Just because a Taltosh can reach the upper world does not necessarily mean he has ever done so. Climbing the World Tree was new to Campo. Under normal circumstances, an unchallenged path lies before the selected few with access to the heavens. Alas, these times are far from normal.
I welcome you all to the Sky-High Tree.
I thought it was called the World Tree.
Sky-High Tree, World Tree, Tree of Life. It goes by many names.
I'll just call it tall. And sideways rainy.
It is not inaccurate.
The mushrooms here could qualify as trees themselves.
You practically moved that all by yourself, Meze.
The king often had me replace his old gold statues with new ones. This was nothing.
How many gold statues does one need? The vanity of King Vokar lives up to his legend, indeed.
You will not defeat the dragon.
Dragon? Who said anything about a dragon?
You will never even reach him. Your lives in now.
Dragonkin.
What the hell did we just fight?
Dragonkin. My master once spoke of his own skirmishes with them, when Ottila killed they decades ago.
And they have not returned to Operencia since. Intriguing.
Operencia? We're practically to the land of the gods at this point. Where lurk Dragonkin, nearby lurks a dragon, as I said when we fought. This does not bode well.
Does this confirm that everything Shakos told us outside Reika's tomb was true?
So it would seem.
I don't know. Something still seems off to me.
I'm more concerned about the prospect of actually fighting a dragon. This had better be a damn good reward, Meze.
Is that a sideways waterfall compo?
Like the rains we've seen, nothing is truly sideways here. Direction has little meaning on the World Tree.
Up is a direction, and it means a lot to us right now. Are we heading up?
I think so.
Firefly? You just grabbed a firefly.
Haven't you noticed? There's no sun in the sky. I'll take all the light I can get. If I see any more, I just might grab them too.
Dragonkin, whom do you serve?
I appreciate the initiative, but he's just going to spew some nonsense about killing us now.
What does it matter? You will not live to see him.
See?
A wall of smoke! What could have caused such a thing?
Given our recent combatants, I think the source of this smoke is clear. A dragon.
Let's just hope we make it to the land of the gods before we see him. We'll need to extinguish this.
We should have just enough water in the mushroom head to extinguish the blaze.
We'll need to find a way to climb past the vines blocking the exit.
Somewhere Alpha is having a hearty laugh.
It's as though the tree itself is testing us with these exits closed by vines.
Well, pardon my ignorance, Compo, and please do not take this personally, but why do we actually need you to ascend the World Tree?
A fine question, young one. I do not know that you would appreciate the answer, however.
Try me.
To be honest, you just do.
You're not selling me on why we actually need you with us, Antlers.
Without my blessing, you simply could not make it through. I can state it no more plainly.
Can anyone else from Operencia venture into the land of the gods?
A griffin, a Garobontiash wizard, perhaps, but only if highly skilled. That is all. Not even a dragon can.
And what about the underworld? Could you go there if you wanted to?
Why would I want to? But yes, I could. Anyone can. Except for the gods.
You're starting to lose me. This is all getting very convoluted.
We need him, Yoshka. That's all you need to know.
What a ghastly sight.
They don't seem as articulate as their friend in the Great Forest was.
Somehow I don't think feed and pass is going to work for us this time.
Look up. We're in the belly of the beasts.
I feel we can do something with these logs.
Ah, so instead of feed and pass, it's tree and pass. Brilliant. Is there a name for the fear of walking over sharp plant teeth? Because I think we all have it by now, right?
No, just you.
Campo scouted ahead for the group and caught glimpse of a curious sight. A bright glow in the distance. It was a girl?
Hello there. I come in peace. If I may, who are you?
Can it be? Yes, hello, Campo. You are just as he described.
He? Who?
Gunsel, of course, your former master. Taltosh to the mighty Attila himself.
Those days were well past him when we met, but yes.
I am Chila. I come from the sky, for you require the aid of the heavens, all of you.
That's certainly where we aim to be soon. We are honored to meet you, Chilla.
I would have joined earlier, but the dragon and his forces complicated matters.
You saw the dragon?
He was here only a day ago. He confronted me at this location, as though he knew my objective to meet you. When I asked what he knew of the Sun King's disappearance, the dragon claimed full responsibility, then proved it by displaying Napkirai himself before me.
The Sun King. Was he alive?
Yes, but powerless in the claws of the dragon. He left me alone against 5 of his underlings, all out for blood. I dealt with them, and have spent the time since recuperating. I am ready to fight once more, and if you will have me, I will complete my mission to aid you.
A gift from the gods. How can we refuse such an offer?
I didn't want to admit it, but I could use some help guiding everyone up the tree. Your arrival is most welcome.
What was that?
A hex left here by the Dragonkin. They believe that creating these makes them stronger.
Does it?
I don't think so, but let's remove them all anyway. It never hurts to be safe.
Can't argue there.
Have you heard the tale of the giant beanstalk?
Where the farm boy planted a magic bean to create a giant beanstalk to a dragon's house above the clouds. Yes?
Take this magic bean. Grow your own.
This can't be real.
After you, Nezei.
I envy you, Chilla. Getting to spend so much time with Gunsel in the heavens as a constellation. How exactly do you pass the time up there?
We shine, we sparkle. To be honest, it gets rather dull. We converse with those near us a lot. Gunsel speaks of you often.
What does he say?
Everything, really. I'm not sure there's a single thing he ever knew about you that I do not know as well myself.
I feel honored, yet somewhat uncomfortable.
When you're stuck with the same neighbors in the skies for eternity, you get bored really fast without invading the privacy of Middleworlders. You should hear what he has to say about Mezei and Elia.
Why would he speak of us?
Because you met him, silly. Do you think he would have told you of the Merchant of the Woods without first knowing you both?
That was him? Incredible.
And Elia. You, of course, knew this already.
I did. And I thank you for keeping certain things about me private. At least for now.
We need to cross, and those giant leaves should be able to support our weight.
I passed a griffin's nest around here earlier. And griffins have the power to command surrounding plants.
Word has it they also enjoy eating humans.
That is true. Be cautious.
The floating leaf will carry us across the gap.
I see, like a ferry boat across a river, except it's a leaf.
No friendly leaves around here. How do we reach the other side?
What a shame. We won't be able to pick that branch's pretty flowers.
It is said the World Tree's flowers do share an odd attraction to one another. Perhaps the key to the other side actually is indeed picking pretty flowers. These leaves truly are amazing, aren't they?
You speak as though you have never traversed this great tree.
When did I ever say I have? I can grant you all access to the land of the gods, but the experience of getting there is equally new to me.
Alia, these are for you.
Thank you, Sebastian. Would you believe no man ever brought me flowers as a young woman?
Then all the young men around you were fools.
Where I grew up, they simply did not bloom.
Where was that?
Far away. Nowhere you would ever seek to visit. Though I do.
I'm trying to figure out where picking flowers atop the world tree ranks among our tasks so far that no one will ever believe. Somewhere in the middle, I think.
These flowers cling with the others we have as though they are magnets. Nowhere in all of Operencia have I seen anything like this.
Nor I, but perhaps we may find a use for their apparent attraction to one another.
This looks ominous.
Not all plants on the world tree are friendly. These will attack.
We will need something to quell their ferocity.
The tree knows our mission. It will provide for us. Somehow.
I must say our fallen feathered friend had terrible taste in wine. Must be all he can manage up here.
By a smell of it, this is no wine. It's poison.
A gift from the tree. I have no doubt.
I'll just think of it as poisonous wine. The thought of a bird nesting such a thing greatly amuses me. I can't help but wonder if this bottle's contents would be better served passing down my throat.
Have you not seen what it does to these plants? Please, try some.
The land of the gods was practically in sight when a mysterious wanderer confronted them.
Do not proceed. The good of humanity forbids such an action.
A Garabantiash wizard? Here of all places?
We seek no conflict, friend. But we have a widely differing opinion on what is best for humanity. Identify yourself.
There is one of your group who already has that knowledge.
That voice. It cannot be. Boeldijar?
Tell me, Kayla, how is the Deva fortress holding up?
You murderer!
Says the hypocrite responsible for putting many of our brothers to rest mere days ago. Correct? Your beloved Anna did not fall victim to murder. Only a mutual agreement, made by all of us.
Personal grudges aside, wizard, why do you seek to stop us?
Who cares? He dies. Now.
I told you who I'm working for. Allow me to introduce who I'm working with.
Boeldijar escaped as an unbelievable sight entered the picture. 3 furious heads stared at the companions, ready to strike.
You have come far. You will pass no farther. You will not disrupt my plans.
Have you the Sun King?
He is safe. You will not be.
Our blows, they do nothing.
I have an idea. Close your eyes.
Chilla channeled all her might into a blinding flash of light. Starlight itself. Unable to see, the dragon writhed in agony as the companions took their final steps to the land of the gods. They made haste. The upper world would protect them from further pursuit, for no dragon could set foot there without invitation. They arrived at the copper forest, knowing that only Hodur, the Firesmith King, would know their next course of action. But first, they had to reach him.
Hello? We humbly seek an audience with Hodur, the Firesmith King. They're not even acknowledging us.
It is a test.
While Hodur likely knows of our quest and already deems it worthy of his time, it is within his known character to want to test us himself.
He uses no words, yet his challenge is clear. We must create our own key for this door.
And the forest will yield all that is required for this?
We will need copper branches and a way to refine them, also likely nearby. We have much exploring to do.
With the added bonus of fighting for our lives and avoiding death traps, no doubt.
Again, such as within Hodur's known character, yes.
Sounds like a lovely fellow. I'm guessing our fight will be with skeletons. Or spiders. Or skeletons riding spiders. That'd be a fun new challenge.
You speak the words of a fool, Yoshka. Woodcutters will challenge us.
Woodcutters? Yes. How foolish of me.
Not exactly what I was expecting when you said woodcutters, Chilla.
They're machines. We should feel no remorse for killing them.
You speak as though they have no souls. They do.
Yes, Gunsel told me of these creatures, I will call them. Damned souls seeking repentance through godly servitude.
Their copper bodies feel no pain. They simply tire out after a while.
Just like a royal ghost, eh? Crazy to think half of you weren't even there for that.
I will say, this copper forest is quite spectacular. I don't know that I like it here, but its grandeur cannot be disputed.
Would you believe it is the least of the three forests in the upper world? As the third son of Arany Atyachka, the Golden Father, and Hoinal Anyachka, the Dawn Mother, Hadur received the third most grand of these forests.
I'm never going to remember those names.
Of course, his older brothers Nopkirai and Seilkirai preside over the Golden Forest and Silver Forest, respectively.
Nopkirai. That's the Sun King, right?
The eldest of the three brothers, yes. And Selkirai is the king of the wind.
Any other long names of Upperworlders I've never heard before and will promptly forget once you tell me?
Most definitely. In fact, I'm not sure where to start.
Save it all for later. That's probably for the best.
It is said that those trained in the way of the Taltosh once rode horses with metal coats, copper included.
Please tell me the horses wore saddles.
Constant movement atop metallic fur would chafe.
Exactly.
I take it this is where we process the copper branches.
As much as I respect Hadur as a god, his machinery is rather down to earth.
It will do the job, but we may need to make some adjustments first. Excellent. This machine should now be in full working order. Well done. I do believe we have this now.
Whoa, that's really heavy. Here you go, Meze.
Got it! Here it comes.
We have our molten copper. We need only a mold to create the key.
Am I the only one amazed that Chilla simply reached inside to grab the copper with no regard for scorching heat? A star from the heavens walks amongst us indeed.
Ow! Damn, that's hot.
We must keep the key in its mold until we can find a way to cool it off.
Yeah, no kidding.
I will grab it, Yoshka. It's practically cooling off my warm hands.
Anyone mind if I just dip my fingers in this pond for a while?
Chilla, without your guidance, we would not have this at all.
Yes, this is indeed a key worthy of the gods. Hadur will honor your presence. Still, he may not like it. He can be a bit grumpy. Let us hope he sees the value you offer in finding his missing brother.
The companions unlocked the door, not knowing what to expect on the other side. They were greeted by darkness and silence. For a full minute, they moved forward with only enough light to see a few steps ahead, until suddenly they found themselves in the presence of Hadur, seated upon his throne, with an appropriately godly presence. Fiery light filled the room in an instant. If this was some sort of intimidation tactic by the Firesmith King, it was working.
You have arrived.
Hadur's words were stern, yet strangely inviting. Not quite welcoming, but inviting.
We have, Lord Hador. A lifelong mission brings me to you, whilst those with me seek an audience with you for other important reasons.
Your reasons are the same, whether you know it or not. You, Sebastian, seek to fulfill a personal prophecy involving the finest blade I ever crafted. Everyone else, you aim to find my brother. Your world will die without him. Yet you stand no chance against the dragon who has enslaved Nokkirai, without the very sword Sebastian so desperately pursues.
Our paths are linked.
They are. But to face the dragon's flame in the underworld, you must be prepared.
Prepared? You mean with the sword we seek? And did you say the underworld?
You will need the sword, yes. And the armor I have yet to craft for you. The dragon holds my brother in the underworld, and he has no reason to leave the realm that fuels his powers. You have no choice but to confront him there.
But how? We have no means to enter that dreadful place.
You will, but first return to the Copper Forest. To the west you will find the axe of the Iron Kneader. Only with this mystical tool will you be capable of retrieving a limb from the three-branched tree, from which your new armor will be forged. Upon your return, you will know everything I have to tell you. Now, take the west exit. Do not keep me waiting.
Back in this dreadful forest. At least we won't have to worry about weapon-wielding woodcutters anymore. He surely called them off. Right?
Maybe. But you did predict some death traps earlier that we never really saw. Hear that churning? I think we're about to.
Ah, yes, a death trap.
An unwelcome visitor taunted them from the other end.
I see you made it to the top of the tree. So did I.
Boldijar.
Even if you do make it past this, more traps await you. Not to mention woodcutters, now under my control. More driven than ever to kill you. Good luck.
He left the scene. They could no longer see him.
Nobody likes you, do they, Keller?
He will pay.
Has Hador betrayed us? Why do his woodcutters still assault us?
Boldijar's evil magic has infected them. They will attack more ferociously than ever now.
Technically, his magic isn't evil. He feels he is doing this for the greater good.
He aims to annihilate the only group that can save Operencia from eternal darkness. How is that not evil?
The Garbon Siash order can be very strange.
The irony of that statement is completely lost on you, isn't it?
What?
We found the tree. Now we just need that magical axe.
As much as I respect Hador, his instructions on acquiring that mystical item were rather vague.
Yes, I agree. And he didn't even mention the boots.
Boots? We have yet to hear mention of boots.
While you were talking, Gunsel sent a message from the heavens.
That's my old master. Not even death can stop him from helping those in need.
The same old master you and Schiller both claim chose to leave this life behind in favor of becoming a constellation?
Not just himself. Himself and his cart.
Of course. My apologies. Do continue, Schiller.
If we continue down this path, we'll find the axe. But not before we earn the boots we'll need to get there.
Well then, what are we waiting for?
We may stand a better chance against Boldizar if we better understand his order. What could you tell us about the Garabonsias, Campo?
Unlike a Taltush, a Garabonsiash is not born with his talents. Anyone can become one with enough skill and study.
That almost sounds admirable.
Traditionally, 13 students partook in 13 schools of learning. By the end of it all, they would sit beside one another on a wheel above a deep pit. The wheel was spun, and upon stopping, one unfortunate student would fall to his doom, the rest inheriting great power.
Naturally. How else would you do it?
As Campo said, there's the traditional story of the Garabonsiash. But I sense nothing traditional behind Boldizar's rise.
I fear you are right. He is unlike any Garabonsiash I have ever come across.
And how many would that be?
Well, none. But still, he seems off.
On such matters, I do trust your authority.
Gunsel also informed me that Hadur knows more of this quest than he leads on. He's been watching since the lake. I do not know what that means.
I might. I think we have another test on our hands from Hador. One of our memory. Do these portraits seem eerily familiar? Yoshka and Meze, you'll know what I mean the best.
Yes, I see what you mean.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Obvious.
It's our adventure so far. Yes, I see it.
It was the lack of sharp-toothed vegetation that threw me. Ever install any dragon head death traps in the castles you built, Keller?
Many dragon heads like this. None designed for lethal use. Though I must admit, the design makes for a remarkable architectural achievement.
Pardon me while I choose to instead admire the pretty colors that likely have something to do with getting us out of this.
I do love the sound of a door opening slowly and noisily. It almost means something good awaits us on the other side.
Or it's a huge monster we didn't know existed about to reveal itself.
Yes, and often both. See? Something good.
A perfect fit, too.
Only one of us needs to wear it. Its magic will make all companions just as swift of foot.
Convenient. Now, let's walk through that portal and find that axe.
A humble suggestion before we step through. Don't forget that treasure.
I've never felt more alive than when we were dodging those stakes. And look, the axe of the Iron Kneader.
Why is it called that?
The Iron Kneader is said to boast enough strength in his hands to knead iron, as you or I would clay. And this is his axe.
So he isn't someone who needs iron, like, in order to live?
Get away from me.
You made it. I must admit, you're starting to impress me.
What is your business here, Boldizar?
Simple, really. You need this tree. I intend to destroy it.
Ah, it is nearly indestructible.
I have my methods, but they may not even be necessary once I destroy something else first. You. I thank you for the sparring match, but now your true test begins. Farewell.
Boldizar, he got away.
Yes. But so did his plans to destroy this tree. We can return the branch to Hodor. Sebastian, if you don't mind.
It would be my pleasure, friend.
They returned to the palace in triumph. Yet any compliments Hadur had for the companions were most understated in nature.
Boldizar was an unintended obstacle in your proving grounds. Yet you still prevailed. Well done.
I had heard a trained Garabonsiash could enter the land of the gods, but I did not believe it.
Yes, when were dark souls such as his capable of breaching the upper world?
Boldijad has no dark soul. He believes his intentions are noble, even heroic.
Preposterous.
Such indignation. And humans wonder why I so rarely grant them an audience. All over the middle world of Operencia, death, strife, war between brothers over the pettiest of squabbles. Were my own brother's fate not directly tied to yours? A cause rooted in your own selfish desires to live, mind you. Were that not the case, rest assured, you would not be here now.
You are right, Your Majesty. We are selfish. We do want to live, but only because we know we are here to save. And not just your brother. Our brothers, our sisters, our parents, our friends, everyone we know. Those we have never met, those we never will meet. It's not perfect out there, true, but the good does outweigh the bad, and that is who we fight for. That is why we are here.
Such passionate words. And yet you never resorted to calling out my own hypocrisy? I am your god of war, after all. Your final test is passed, and to war you will go. You were promised magic armor to face the dragon. You shall have it. One person wearing it will protect you all. My finest silver wind mares will grant you quick passage to your next destination.
If you don't mind my asking, Lord Hador, where might that be?
You said before you had more to tell us.
It will look familiar to you, Elia. The very forest where Attila slew Thade decades ago.
The sword? Is it there?
To be honest, I do not know. My bond with the blade has weakened over the years. But Attila does rest beneath the very river that brought him to that battle. His spirit will have the answer you seek, though not without some resistance.
A ghost fight. Yeah, we know that one.
I invite you to rest here, Crusaders of Operencia. You leave tomorrow, and tomorrow will not be kind.
On windmares they flew, down the tree, back to the Middleworld, to the beautiful Operencian forest where this grand story began. But its beauty had been scarred. The smell of brimstone filled the air. Something terrible was happening.
The forest of Attila's greatest triumph looks nothing like its legend. What has happened here? And what's that smell?
Brimstone. We have no easy task ahead of us.
We've had no easy task behind us either, but we've done just fine.
Yes. Yes, we have, Yoshka.
And let's keep doing just fine. Shall we?
We shall.
It was a mask like the one we found in Reika's tomb. Is this a Busho, Yoshka?
Probably looking to join us. He'd be one of the more normal fellows in this fellowship. Or he wants to kill us.
We mean you no harm. You need not attack.
They don't seem very interested in conversation.
Busho swore an oath to Attila to protect the gate to the underworld, but they would not attack without first understanding potential threats.
Threats like us?
We do seek entrance to the gate.
Not to mention the matter of raiding Attila's tomb along the way.
But they don't know any of that. Something is wrong. By the gods!
The gate to the underworld. It's real.
Complete with 7 enchanted locks.
True. Not even an expert lockpicker like myself can get us in without the proper keys.
Ha! Expert lockpicker? You can't even pick your nose.
The Bushos will have the keys, all but one. I fear that means we will be forced to kill more of them.
It is for the greater good, but that does not mean we have to like it.
What did you mean by all but one key, Compo?
Ha! Am I the only one who knows? Is it possible not even Hadur himself had such information?
What information?
The sword! The 8th key is the sword of Attila itself.
Good thing we're already after it, then.
Some better directions would have been nice.
So much destruction.
I know not why Boldijar's order wants the gate open, but it seems they'll do whatever it takes to make it so.
He'll have most of the Gorobantiash order with him this time, no doubt. And I'm inclined to believe his power has corrupted the Bushos that attack us.
Boldijar will not escape us this time. None of them will.
It's a shame we had to part with those windmares. I quite enjoyed that ride. Does anyone know more about them?
Of course. It all started with a little bit of brotherly jealousy among the gods. As even most Midworlders know, Nopkirai rides his own magnificent steed from east to west every day, providing sunlight for all of the middle world.
Doesn't sound like your story is very much in line with current events, but I'm listening.
As generations passed, Hadur and his brother, the Wind King Seilkirai, looked upon their older brother with a sense of envy. They wanted their own steeds of such power and grace. So they worked together. Hadur supplied the horses and Seilkirai imbued them with spectacular wind-based powers, enabling them to fly.
And that's why they got the name Windmares. So could they fly as far as the Sun King's magical steed?
Not even close. Still, they were satisfied.
Alia, Hadur said you know this area. What was he referring to?
I was beginning to think none of you noticed he said that. Very well. In case you have not noticed, I am old.
Not the greatest opening line to a story, but you have my attention.
Old enough to remember Attila's great battle versus State, the 3-headed dragon who attacked Operencia. His army emerged from that very gate we aimed to unlock, and I saw the battle. I was there.
So was Kunsel, my master. Did you see him?
I did. And he saw me. At least briefly.
Strange. He never mentioned a woman other than Queen Reiko.
My presence was the least of his concerns at the time. Fate had brought me here. And when the fighting began, I knew here was not a place I desired to be. So I hid. I watched. I admired King Attila, living up to his legend and slaying the dragon.
Incredible. But then what?
Yeah. Did you go say hi?
I fled. I had personal reasons for doing so.
I see. You were obviously avoiding the king in front of his wife. His promiscuity was quite legendary as well, after all.
Not those kinds of personal reasons, Yoshka. Perhaps one day I will reveal them. Enough nostalgia for now. Who wants to buy something?
The Guardian Elite.
Yes, so loyal to Attila in life, their spirits continue to defend him in the afterlife.
And they're wearing armor. Am I the only one who finds this insane? It's literally the only way we can see them.
Let's put that armor on the ground, then.
I grow tired of your relentless pursuit.
Pursuit implies we seek you out, Borodishar. You just happen to stand in our way in all the wrong places.
I seek him out.
I stand corrected.
We both seek to open the gate. We should be working together.
So you can unleash an underworld army upon everyone?
No. That will happen soon enough with no son. Rather, I offer Operencians a new home. Under the dragon. Why else would I seek to open the gate? Passage for all who desire it. It is what's best. For life as a whole.
You care nothing of life.
You're wrong. But it's clear I must end all of yours. Right now. I am at your mercy. Will my death be swift?
You know the strength with which Keller wields Stoneheart?
No.
The companions turned to Keller in confusion, as did Boldijar, his hands tied before him.
Death is too good for you, Boldijar. You will live, just very differently. I look upon your hands. They once built greatness. As time went by, they did not build. They destroyed. It began with a handshake agreement among our guild. It continued with every spell you cast against this noble fellowship. You will survive, Boldijar. Your hands? They will not.
Keller's mighty hammer flattened Boldijar's most useful asset in one single swipe. His cry of anguish echoed throughout all of Operencia.
Damn you, Keller!
I have lived in damnation since the day we made our accursed pact.
Had a feeling she'd say something like that.
May you join me there. Beginning today. You once crafted the finest masonry in Operencia. Now you will struggle to lift a fork.
You cannot leave me like this!
We can, and we will. Farewell, Boldijar, forever.